Emma might have been trying to. Yeah.
I've started streaming there again.
The roboticness of the stream. I believe there was a day, maybe like last time we played, where when Emma first connected to the Skype call, the sound was similar.
Mm.
Time has no meaning, so I don't know when. Ours were made to sell more clocks.
Yeah. All that clock money.
How does the stream look now? Are you and Richard okay?
It says we're live. Maybe I just have to do a refresh because nothing was appearing for me. Yep, we're there now. But you're still robotic.
I should be muted. My voice shouldn't be going through it all.
Do you want to say something I can see? Yeah, no, you're definitely muted. It's okay because chat just thinks you've been infiltrated by AI. I can hear you. I'm just going to see if we can hear the audio.
This is a great opportunity for chat to ask any questions they have about the world of Domain, any of our characters, or tell us about something they love that maybe just happened to them this week. I don't know. We've got time.
Yeah, it's
I recently switched from using digital dice to metal.
I can't roll metal dice. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have a set of porcelain dice, I think. Radius Ulna 1 wants to know about Anim. So that's over to you, Richard. Or I could start making stuff up.
Anim is me. Anim is I. Anim's favorite color is navy. Anim's spirit animal is like a winter stoat, like an Arctic stoat, you know? I think his favorite season is probably winter, and his favorite weather is probably snow. Here's a theme. Anim comes from the western continent of Domain, Seascan.
Shaskin.
Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
That's why we have the brains over here. They're not on my side.
No, I'm just the guy that like riffs off the Irish language and puts it into his stories. Somebody else. Hey, Dopes and Dragons. For anyone that's just joined us, we are having some slight tech issues with the stream, so apologies for that. But we are learning about Anim's character. But do you have any... Okay, so I'm not a regular, so no stream-specific questions, I'm afraid. But do you have any DM life hacks, like initiative index cards to hang over your GM screen, color-coded bookmarks in the player handbook, that kind of stuff to make it easier and smoother? That's a really cool question, Eagle 5 Atnam. Do I have any DM hacks? I've started, weirdly enough, I've started cataloging monsters for myself, so that like I can kind of, and I know it's all there on like digital D&D Beyond, but my brain doesn't work like that. So as I come across monsters, I will kind of save stuff. The other thing I have is on all social, I'm not the best at social media, but I'm on most of them. Like most people are on most of them. I have a hidden sort of like bookmark thing. So whenever I come across something that I'm like, that's actually a really cool idea for a monster, or a really cool idea for a campaign story, I will save it to a private sort of bookmark, whether I'm on my phone or I'm on my computer at home. A Tall Nerd Apollo, thank you for the raid. We're trying to sort out a small tech issue. So Richard and I are just chatting about D&D and TTRPG stuff. And I am talking about DM hacks. I also have I'm a big believer in naming my chapters and naming my sessions and stuff like that. So you'll see here that this Beyond Horizons Edge episode is titled Deals, Dares, and Divil. And using a Word document, then I have a table of contents like you would a book. So I have everything sort of under that heading then. So where I might reference a character or where I might reference stuff, I have all that going for me. And that helps me kind of keep track of, oh, I introduced this random NPC in this chapter, or this thing happened here. The other thing I always have next to me is a notebook. I mean, we call it pen and paper TTRPGs for a reason. So I always have a notebook next to me for when characters do things or say things. I'm like, I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to definitely use that against them in the future. Or, you know, that's a cool thing that they just said there or mentioned or talked about that they've added to the world. And I will kind of highlight it for myself as a, can I go back to that? Can I take that and work through it? As a fellow DM, I keep a flashcard with the important info about my PCs like AC, HP. Yes, we do use an initiative tracker that when we're live on stream, we've sort of everyone's initiative. We can sort by that. It's a really sexy Google sheet. You know, the sexiest of all documents. And I can have a look at the player's AC just so that it kind of speeds things up a little bit. And then everyone's initiative goes in there. And as they are hitting the NPCs, the monsters, whatever it might be, and trying to figure out AC, like, oh, does a 12 hit? Well, no. So at least we know it's higher than 12. And we can kind of start cataloging it that way. So it does kind of speed up, particularly for streams. If anybody here is streaming games, that is a nifty thing. I will share that in the D8 Dungeon Discord as well. It's a little bit like what Tal Narlapato was saying there with the flashcards. But if you're a digital table where you and your friends are, you know, playing all over the world, then that makes it kind of a fun way to do something. Adobe in the streets, Google in the sheets. I'm like Adobe's weird aunt, like in the streets. So I know Adobe, but Adobe tries to ignore me as I wave at it, going, "Hello, I know you. I know how to you know work with this a little bit." But I love. Who doesn't love a good spreadsheet when it comes to this kind of stuff? So it's a great way of checking stuff. I don't know if this is controversial when it comes to DM hacks, but I mean, stuff on the fly doesn't have to be perfect, and that's things I tell myself all the time. That like I might have designed a combat, and the monsters might go down very very easy. So I might add a little bit of extra HP or I don't the one thing I don't do is I don't fudge rolls. Like I don't like fudging a dice roll. Like just kind of leaving it up to I think, and I'm going to quote him and possibly misquote him, but Homebrew, Ben from Homebrew Quest always says that like the best stories are in failure, and I ascribe to that in a big way, that like your character might go down or might mess up, and out of that now we've got a really interesting plot or character development or choice might come from it. So, and that's the same for my own rules as the DM. I don't fluff those. And anyone that's ever been at my table will tell you that I have the worst reaction to nat 20s and nat 1s, more so than the players. So, because I tend to do stupid things with nat 20s. I'm like, oh my god, it's a nat 20. Let's do something. So if you are enjoying, like, again, if you are enjoying talking about TTRPGs and stuff like that, I'm going to take this opportunity to pimp out. Jeez, that's a phrase I don't like using. What the hell did that come from? To mention, to delightfully mention on Thursdays, the same Ben from the same Ben. Where are my words today? Ben from Homebrew Quest and I run as if it's been running for 10 seasons. We have a TTRPG talk show where every second Thursday, this Thursday coming, we talk about TTRPGs, and we talk about our inspiration. We talk about the work of other TTRPG content creators, and yeah, it's for usually an hour. Might go over sometimes, as in it did the very first episode. But this next episode, we're talking about new characters, and we are on stream. We are going to be Ben is going to be rolling up a character and talking about developing that character, and then I'm going to be talking about writing that character's backstory and looking for things that you can kind of draw into it from the mechanics of a character that, you know, a system like D&D will give you, and how you might take those and tie them into your backstory in a really interesting way. So we also have an interview with Omar from A Tale of D20s, US streamers that I'm very, very lucky to play with as a player, not as a DM. But I have a chat with Omar, and we are also going to be talking about our time at AdventureCon last week. I don't know if anybody in chat was at AdventureCon, but I can safely say that the entire D8 Dungeon team that was there, and I can also speak for Ben as his agent. Ben also had a great time, so that was an absolute blast. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that as well, and yeah. We'd such a fun time. I ran 3 different games: D&D 5e, D&D 5e Butchered, and then Lasers and Felines on Sunday. And then I did 2 workshops. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, Homebrew Show is correct. It's a daily morning show that streams every second Thursday in the evening. And yeah, that's Ben and Declan on a roll. Our daily morning show every second Thursday at night. So you can check us out this coming Thursday. And I don't know if our tech issues persist. Trust me, I will be more than happy to delve deeper into Redmond's backstory and explore how he became bunkmates with our very own Anam.
Could read the excerpt from Anim's backstory, the thing I first read about him when we started planning this.
Yes, please do.
In character.
In character. I think in character. Yeah.
I remember my father's words. The one story he would always tell. Times in my life. Never told to me, you understand. Always told as an excuse to others. And I remember very specifically the first time and the last. You see, the last one in particular. The blood of the giants was said to flood through the mountains themselves, and those who lived there. It rised in ebbs, ducked in flows, giving way to the occasional bloodthirsty nature of the people, and to the storms that formed there. Over the years, the blood thinned, the rage dulled, but some still felt it thudding, like an axe. Chop, chop, chop. Let it be known that the birthright of fate falls the same as any tree. My father told that story hundreds of times. And I remember sitting there, someone calling out in the tavern, having heard it as many times as me. And my father cried out, "Shut up and listen, I'm telling my boy." The blood of giants or not, my father was huge, a beast of a man who towered over most in the crests. Me, not so lucky. And that fact tortured my father every day. People would mock him. they'd say, "Are you sure he's yours?" That people would press on that wound when they found the only way to harm him. And blood of the gnomes, was it? These people would often find themselves waking up several hours later. My father was daunting in stature, but he was also quick, and he would suffer no words against his family. Now, boy, someday maybe you'll find your way in life. It'll not be with the axe, that's for sure. They don't fell trees that small around here. I smiled at my father. I was used to his jabs. Chop, chop, chop. Maybe you could join the caravans. The merchants, they're respectable. Do a little heavy lifting. Escort the caravan with that little toy of yours. He motioned towards my hand axe. I hear the speaker is hiring. Maybe throw your lot in there. Isn't much for you here after all. Chop, chop, chop. My father had had several drinks that morning already. You know, sometimes I wonder why the primes would tease us with one child and make it you. Whoever your mother is, Annam, she'd hate to see what thwack, 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 thwack. When the blood had settled, and my rage had subsided, and when the fire was put out, and the tavern owner had finished people, I found myself staring down at my father. And over the years, I've met many men who claim to have been there. When Oren the Giant lost his first fight. A dozen men in every bar for years would say they were there, to the birth of Annam the Ogre. Facts change, the location shifts, the time of day constantly in flux. But there are 3 facts that do not change. My father was mid-sentence when my axe first hit him. I grew large to everyone in that bar, larger by far, as I lunged across the table to retrieve it. And when all was said and done, my father and I lay bloodied in the snow. And my father was laughing just as hard as I cried. We were both injured. And few know it, but it was my father himself, who gave me the scar in my eye. I may have been half his size, but I took most of his teeth, and his crooked nose was never quite the same. And I hear this part of the story change most of all. We did not go for another drink, and we did not hug. What happened when I was born that day was my father and I finally reached an understanding. For the first time in my life, we saw each other. And we shook hands, and we walked away. I have not spoken to my father since that day. I have not been home. Ogre, the storm, son of the giant, the western wraith. I hear what people call me. Still I run, unknowable Annam, from my father's shadow. NC.
Seriously. And that is why I was like, Richard, please come play our game.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love Annam as a character, and that concept was just fits so well with what we're hoping to do in Beyond Horizon's Edge. So thank you so much for that. And I think we're good. We can check. I can check. Emma, if you want to do a test.
A test.
We're back.
Yay!
We're back?
You were back.
That just gave me about 10 grey hairs.
Oh.
All good. No. My own fault.
Not at all. No, look. So to save me having to run the stream and DM, Emma kindly took over as the stream producer. So there's always going to be God, this is way better than when I was doing anyway, Emma. So don't worry. You've already kind of you're already doing better than I was. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't
It's
have
my
fixed
first
it.
day.
It's my first day, and it's Regiment's first week.
Thank you,
and
Richard. And
there is, I think there's a part of me that's like, everybody has gathered round. And actually, I'm going to work this in.
Mm.
For Redmond, it has been failure after embarrassing failure in the first week. And where Regiment had hoped to bring the new recruits on side, many find themselves drawn to Annam the Ogre. This slight slip of a wiry, red-headed waif of a lad who sort of skulked in halfway through the first week, initiation week, and has largely been swarmed by the others. And for Redmond, the first class, the first kind of instruction under Byron fell to wayside when you misquoted the wrong edict, and it just the week naturally just worsened from there. A simple capture the flag where Regiment took charge of his team with the "you all distract them and I'll sneak into the base and grab it" went completely awry after Regiment stepped on a sleeping badger, only to be half mauled, shrieking through the woods, chased by a badger. And your team lost while Annam led his to victory, snatching Redmond and the others. That's what you've named your team. Snatching victory from them, and then the exhaustion and the training and the physicality of it all takes its toll, and the laps up and down the hill carrying buckets of water prove a little too much for Regiment. All the while, more and more people seem to gravitate towards Annam. This this how does Redmond see him, particularly now as everybody has kind of gathered round, and others are kind of like Annam started to maybe tell who he was and give a little bit of "this is who I am," but others are now adding in, "oh no, you're the ogre," and they're adding in what they know about him, and there's all these sort of stories and rumors that people are saying about Annam, but Annam isn't saying much of it at all. How would Regiment react to all that?
good question. I think he still thinks that he could be the one to teach Anne a thing or two. It's been a rough week and mistakes were made, but who are we if we don't learn from them? So I think he's going to kind of jump over to Adam and just say, "Yeah, that's it's pretty wild, all right. Do you want to maybe team up in future? You know, because I feel like we were on par there, and together would be pretty amazing."
Who are you? Sorry.
I was the leader of the other team.
Oh, Regiment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Regiment. There's no H in the middle.
It's very nice to meet you properly, finally.
Yeah, you too, Phil.
May I? And without any real hesitation, Adam just picks Regiment up in like a big bear hug.
Yeah, I love when people pick me up. Could you put me down?
Of course.
Yeah, great. Thanks. You know, I'm
So-
heavier than I look, so it's for your benefit.
You want to team up? Do you have something in mind? Something to do? Perhaps something from the guild?
Let's go find something. I think we could do great things together.
I will clear my schedule. Today I will be the others.
Do we have a schedule yet? Oh my god. Do we have a schedule?
No.
Okay.
no. I was actually just going to go back to bed, but this is better.
Yeah. Let's do it. I mean, like, slap someone together.
There's yeah, a lot of the others that had kind of gathered round Annam in the mess hall in the Summer Keep Guild are kind of like, oh, well, I mean, I guess if Annam is talking to him, and like the others from Regiment and the others are all kind of off in a corner, just staring, like arms crossed, just like shaking their heads, kind of like seriously, like. But yeah, as the two of you kind of like shake hands, Byron stumbles into the mess hall, kind of seeing the new recruits kind of splayed out in front of him, kind of all kind of strewn across the couches, the long benches, some on the floor, all kind of like huddled up next to the fireplace.
Mhm.
And he sees you, Regiment, making nice with Annam, and he just kind of gestures for you to approach.
Yeah.
Well, Regiment, perhaps a private word in my study.
Yeah, let's do it. Are you going to get some of that, what's that stuff you make in the battle that you keep in your desk? Are we going to grab some of that?
That's a funny joke. Recruit Regiment. That's a funnier joke.
No, sure, Major Rat Point.
Regiment.
Oh, sorry. Let's go.
Not in front of the new recruits.
I'm only yanking your chain.
50 laps for yanking my chain. This way. And he directs you kind of out into the main corridor past the small little reception area, and you see a kind of a young tiefling girl with a fairly new recruit, but she's seems to be busy out kind of behind the desk organizing missives and scrolls that are kind of like bundled up. She's kind of humming away to herself when the two of you kind of lock eyes, and she just gives you daggers. She was also on Regiment and the others, and with her arm in a sling, she is just sort of like, her eyes follow you as he tracks you into the library, kind of through a weave of tables and chairs and bookshelves, and in down a small side corridor and through a very heavy oak door. And he leads you into this. It's by no means a grand office. It's not. It's nothing. It's nothing bigger than like kind of your average standard study. Like, there's nothing palatial about it, but there's all kinds of trinkets and books and tomes sort of put on display and tall shelves, and a fairly plush, if not slightly faded, rug lying across the floor, set sort of fixed under a dark purple mahogany desk, on top of which there's just stacks of paper and plates, and a small sort of fat potbelly stove burning away against a wall. And there's a portrait, slightly faded, and it's of Byron and the other members of his adventuring party, kind of drawn in honor of his great deeds, having been one of the handful who thwarted an assassination attempt on ministers of Grainlawn and kind of saving the city-states. He kind of gestures at a table. He goes to reach for something in the desk, and he kind of like shakes his head. No, not in front of the recruits. And he closes it again. You hear inside the sound of glass rattling. as he was going to get a drink, and then he went, "Wait, no, I'm in work mode."
Reginald just, oh. When he sees him closing the door. He'll walk over to the picture of the heroes and goes, "Ah, shit, there's that. Ah, great looking, isn't he? Like you said."
If I could just direct your attention to the chair, Reginald.
Great chair. Where did you get it?
You'd have to ask Mr. Sapras. If you could put yourself in the not, and he puts his hands on his chair, not this chair, that chair, and he points to like a small little. It still looks kind of comfortable, but a small wooden chair with a kind of a plush teal cushion sitting in it and a back.
Okay. He'll just jump into it like with a heavy thud.
You've had a bit of a week, Regiment, by all accounts. I see reports from some of the other members, instructors. A lot of energy. They've written here a lot of energy. Some say a little too much energy, but you didn't do so well in class. There, you seem to be mixing up your poisons and your potions. That is, well, look, that could happen to all of us, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, only the once. But sure, look, no harm, no foul. It was in theory, just a theory class. So, I'm sure we could learn from that. You didn't do so well with the capture the flag and the stealth.
That was very close.
Well, that's not what Abigail has written down here. How is
nobody likes her?
Well, I'll take it noted. Your criticisms of the instructor are appreciated. You've had all the wounds seen to, correct? You've had them all sanitized.
Yeah. There's but a scratch.
Right. And you were sick this afternoon on the 4th lap up the hill.
Got a little bit of a, feel a bit shivery, bit of a flu maybe or some. I'm grand now. Yeah, but just
Right.
It affected it. I wouldn't normally be like that.
No. I know. Sure. Yeah. What with your, and he kind of half points at the portrait hanging on the wall. No, Redwood. I just, as you know, I promised your father I'd keep in touch and let him know how you were progressing. So.
And you're going to say very well. You have to tell him I'm doing really well. You have to.
Redmond, there is actually, and he's kind of looking around the room. There is another reason I kind of called you in here, actually.
Okay. You break his heart,
Oh, I know. Very sensitive, your dad. Always was, No. Look, we'll chalk it down to just a learning experience, shall we? It's like getting sort of the first week jitters out of the way. I mean, not everybody had the same sort of stroke of bad luck that you did. Some even excelled. That Annam, young fella that you were talking to. Now, there's someone that you could learn a lot from, actually.
And I think I could teach him a thing or two as well. I think we'd make a great team.
Yeah, probably don't teach him the whole poison and potion thing. He'd probably get that from class himself. Yeah, and maybe you could point out to him what a honey badger nest looks like. Yeah,
Yeah,
you learned
I
that
can
this
do
week.
that now.
You did.
Yeah.
You learned that. No, I called you in here not to discuss your father or the correspondence that we're keeping. I've a friend of mine, an old acquaintance,
Mm.
Alarian, passing through Canuck in a little tomorrow. No, I won't be around. I'm with the recruits on a different task,
Mm.
and I thought, who could I entrust with this precious little uh, relic artifact? Um, Nobody else came to mind but you. All you have to do is take this box
Mm-hmm.
and meet Alarian in the old mare and deliver it. That's it. Um,
Sounds very important. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I'm the man for the job. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no possible way that you could mess this up.
Not that I would anyway, you know. No.
Yeah. So I'll have the box prepared and the artifact placed in it, and you can bring it down to the old mayor. Um, and he's kind of looking around. Well, we're heading off a little bit on the other thing. You'd have no interest in that now. Tis all about foraging and surviving. And sure, you're probably better suited for this guarding thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the box will be. You can collect it from the desk. Yeah, would say finish your supper,
Okay.
and you pop down then with the box, and you, like I said, 24 hours, and Ilarian will be in the old mare. Thereabouts. So
Great.
you deliver the box down to the old mare this evening. Maybe check on it, and we'll go from there.
Beautiful.
Grant. Okay, so there's the door.
Yeah, it's a great door. Where'd you get it?
Uh, Again, you'd have to ask Mr. Sapras. It's even better from the other side, though. So why don't you go to the other side of the door and check it out?
Grant, listen, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go now. Sure, I'll chat to you later.
Right. Okay. Um, okay. And he kind of just stares at you, all the while his arm reaching down for the drawer, just like very slowly, watching as you kind of leave.
And Regiment's gonna be chuffed, its head held high, shoulders back, and try find Adam actually to say he has something from there's something they can do together.
Um, while Redmond is in with Byron, Annam, you and the other recruits have been visited upon by Abigail Blackmoon, a friend of Byron's who's kind of here instructing in the ways of surviving in the wilds. And as everybody had kind of begun to settle in for the evening and kind of rest, Abigail, a Goliath woman, kind of storms into the mess hall and orders everybody up off their feet and out into the woods to begin foraging by night in whatever you are currently wearing. And there are a few new recruits who had sort of stripped down to their comfies. Some are in sandals, some are barefoot. Most are were wrapped in blankets, but many were in pajamas and sort of like settling in for the night. And you now find yourself out in the woods foraging.
It's fine. I'm probably one of the few people dressed for it. Got like extra layers, ones I can lose.
At one stage, Abigail kind of turns to a very, very shivering Harangan woman, and she points over at you. You see your name escapes me. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And she gestures over at you, Annam. Always be prepared. Anything can happen to you at any moment. And she shoves the Harangan down into like a muck puddle. See, that just happened to you, and you weren't prepared for it. And yeah, you've been told to forage for blackberries. Give me a nature check.
Oh no. Seven.
You've again, you're not quite sure. You're finding kind of all kinds of berries, but at the back of your mind, there is this thing of you're trying to remember when blackberries are in season.
I think you're supposed to taste each berry you find to figure out which one is good.
Yes, yeah, and you are kind of like, yeah. I think this is a blackberry. And like you are like, so you've kind of got like a little cloth bag, and you are just putting it in a load of berries into it. Redmond, we cut back to you, and you've stumbled out into the kind of the hall, the mess hall, to find there's nobody around.
Oh, all right. I guess I'll go get the artifact.
Okay, you're just kind of like,
Yeah, just
Kind
kind of. All right, I'll do my job.
You've yeah, as you kind of like stand there, kind of like shuffling back and forth, kind of like looking around the kind of the main hall here, and the tall stairs leading up to the dormitories and the back rooms of the summer keep. Even that young tiefling girl in the sling, she's gone. And as you can just kind of hear like the sound of the fire in the mess hall crackling away. But about 20, 30 minutes passes, and Mr. Sapras just kind of tips his cap at you. And he puts a small wooden box about the size of a necklace case on the counter, and he just kind of like taps it with 2 fingers, and he kind of nods at you again, and he kind of heads into the mess hall, and you can kind of hear a bit of a commotion with Eileen Sapras, his wife, giving out to him for being late for supper.
Okay. Regimen is going to go get the box and say, yep, very important. And he'll kind of put it into like a breast pocket or whatever. And he'll tap it and he'll say, and he'll kind of wrap something around it, tie a knot just to make sure that it's very safe.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Have the artifact. Go to the old mare. Don't chase badgers. Don't let badgers chase you. Okay. Let's go. And he's gonna walk out.
Okay. You head out, and it's cold. Like it's a biting, pressing cold that just wallops you as you. It's that the warmth of the Summer Keep Guild, and then just that brutal cold wind that just whistles up the hills of Canuck. You. As you kind of pull your cloak and kind of maybe even scarf up around you, kind of like bundling yourself a little bit closer, your hand kind of pressing against the jeweler case. It's there, it's safe, it's secure. You begin the climb downwards towards the sleepy village of Canuck, and you can see the lights of it below. It's not too far away, but as you are with the wind kind of whistling and screeching past you, occasionally you do hear like the odd pop sound, like a very audible pop, and you're not sure if it's lightning or something flashing in the sky, but you are kind of occasionally drawn to the glade your eye kind of drifting over. Meanwhile, Annam, the group completely unprepared for Abigail firing off magic missile from a wand at ye. You're all kind of fleeing deeper into the woods, kind of half panicking, half like completely caught unawares by the instructor screaming, I was going to say screaming, be prepared, but like that's too close to maybe the Lion King. But effectively, be prepared. Abigail is a tyrant. But yeah, and people are ducking for cover, and like trees are getting half exploded as people try and weave and duck and dive from her attacks. Reggie, it takes you a little bit while kind of watching your steps. It's dark, the ground is wet and a little bit slippy, but you make the walk, the journey into Canuck, and you pass the odd villager or farmer kind of out and about, kind of weaving from one building to the other or heading home. And you can hear the faint sounds coming from the old Mare Tavern smack in the village square. And there you have the lights kind of glowing from the windows and the faint smell of peat burning, kind of catching in your lungs, and the crisp, sweet smell of mead, just sort of perfumed in that very heavy smoke that is sort of danced and swirled under your nose, catching your lips, and again, hand reaching for the jewelry box. You saunter towards the old Mare Tavern. Inside, behind the bar, you see the Raider sisters, Emmy and Bonnie, two dwarven women who both kind of like in sync and at opposite ends of the bar, both look at you, and an eyebrow arching very quizzically, very curiously, very cautiously. And again, it is that thing of this is a local pub for local people, and the kind of the conversation stops as the door opens and everyone turns to see who it is, and people recognize you and immediately kind of just turn back to talking and conversing. And you're not quite sure if it's Emmy or Bonnie, but one of the sisters with a dishcloth in a jug kind of approaches you, kind of her hand kind of rinsing out the mug. What'll it be?
Hey, Bon.
I'm Emmy.
Hey, MZ. I'm here to do something very important, but in the meantime, could I just get maybe like a half glass of meat?
A half glass?
Not a full one. You know what? 2.
Right, and you're not working.
No, but I'm here on something very important.
Oh, you are you? Got yourself a job now, have you, up in the guild?
Yeah, on a very important mission, and he like taps his chest where he has the box.
Oh, very impressive there with your jewellery box.
Yeah, shh, though.
Bonnie! And she kind of leans her head a little bit over. You'll never guess that Regiment's gone and gotten himself a job.
Yeah.
And she, again, Emmy turns and she fills 2 tall steins with mead and puts them down in front of you. And Bonnie kind of saunters over, kind of giving one of the customers kind of a I'll be with you in a minute. And now the pair of them are staring at you, and it's just these 2 wizened, hardened, wrinkly, old dwarven women with just these sort of deep stone grey eyes just staring out at you, both with their hair pulled back in just these mounds of curls up high and then kind of cascading down over their shoulders, both dressed identical in fairly sort of faded kind of cream blouses, one with a a lily embroidered on it, the other with a rose embroidered on it, both wearing very long overskirts in a dark green color. They're both now just eyeing you with a lot of curiosity.
I can't tell you anymore. I can't.
Oh, well, you can't tell us anymore. Well, that's grand, sure. Probably not that big of a deal anyway.
Oh no, it is. It is. No, I can't. I can't. And he's gonna pay for the beer.
Oh, you're a very good. Look at you there now with your coin and all. Your own hard-earned money there, not just your dad's money that you've been pawning off.
Yeah.
A job well done, I'd say. There was a payment in advance, was it, Reggie? A payment in advance, was it?
Yeah.
Ah, they might have a bit of coin about them then, huh?
Listen, you're busy here. I'll just take a seat. Yeah.
Right. Well, you sit tight there now. What's that? Chito, your friend there now. Do you know? And then Bonnie kind of leans at Bernard. She's like, "No, God, Jesus, Bernard hates him." No disrespect, Regiment. No disrespect there now. No, Caller. His grandmother. I she's not well these days. You know her. No, she's not well these days. She's gone. Caller said he'd be by a little bit later, so
Great.
I suppose one of those is for him, is it?
No, they're both for me.
Oh, right. So we'll get another two then, maybe.
Maybe later. Sure, I'll come back up.
Okay.
I'll get a table for us anyway.
And she kind of half bows at you. A table for his lordship. And she kind of, and again, people are kind of chuckling away as Bonnie or Emmy, one of them, pretends to be sort of a lady in waiting for you, kind of like escorting you over to your table. And I guess you'd want me to wipe the table down for you as well, would you?
Sure, wouldn't that be lovely?
Oh,
and
well.
He's going to grab her by the arm while she walks him over and say, "Well, Jesus, is this what it's like to have your affection?"
Would you get away with yourself? And she kind of just, with her other hand, she kind of swats at you. That's that meat now going to your head. I've told you, Emmy. And she kind of half wrestles herself out of your arm. She's kind of gone a bit flustered.
Yeah.
The door opens. Everybody goes quiet to kind of turn and to stare and to see who it is. And you recognize Caller, your friend, half elf, around your own age, maybe a year or two younger. He had hoped to join the summer keep with you, with Byron, but with his grandmother's kind of ailing health, he's kind of decided to step in and help her and keep her shop going as a herbalist. And he kind of just like, he sees you and he kind of gives you a nod. He's a kind of it's a very kind of lanky, sort of lengthy, awkward bit of a chap with very sort of messy brown hair that he never seems to quite know what to do with it. And he approaches, and you can kind of already see that he's kind of half covered in muck, like his robes are, it's kind of dried dirt, and his hands are very kind of filthy, and you can see the black of his fingernails as he approaches. All right, Redmond.
Yeah,
oh, you got one in. Oh, good lad.
Yeah, I have one here for you.
Don't
worry.
And he sits himself down. There is the pungent aroma of earth and what smells like gone off garlic from him.
Keller, you smell like an open grave.
And he kind of sniffs his armpit. Oh, well, he still doesn't smell like you. And he kind of he laughs to himself as he kind of takes a swig from the meat. So how's it going?
Yeah, great. I've
And he leans in.
very important job. And
You're on a mission.
Jesus, shut up.
Oh.
Very important. So he takes out the box, and to deliver this. It's a very old artifact. Shh. He puts it back in.
Is it cursed?
No.
Is it at least mysterious?
Yes.
Oh, that's fucking class, right?
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Like, oh, like you said you were going to be a big deal.
And I am.
And look at you.
I'm a
You're
big deal.
doing it. You're doing it.
I cleaned my table. Can you see it? Swallows.
Oh, it's fucking class. And like, what are the others like?
Not as good as me.
Oh well, like I mean, you've been training all your life for this, like.
Yeah, I know.
Well, go on. Like, what do you have to do?
Bring it here.
No fucking way. You've already done.
Yeah, I know. I just have to. Yeah. Something. Yeah.
Jesus, Richmond.
They'll find me.
And he, Argyle, kind of like just raises a hand. Two more glasses. And like Emmy kind of just snorts to herself. Oh, it'll be right down to your table service and all. So it is nothing but the best for Lord Regiment.
Thanks, Auntie.
The two glasses stay on the bar. No one's bringing them to you, and eventually Argyle kind of gets the hint and gets up and goes and gets it. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Mm-hmm. 18.
The first two go down like nectar. Like it's very smooth, it's very sweet, it's very, very familiar taste.
Mm-hmm.
The next two, as you sup them back, and you do, like you're following one after the other, as Argyle kind of tells you a bit about like what he's been up to. Or, sorry, not Argyle, Caller tells you what he's been up to the last kind of couple of days. His nan is doing lots better. She has him digging out in the backwoods, and he's talking something about midnight garlic, and it's fascinating, and he's getting really into it, and you can see that he's getting really into it. He's not asking you anything about you and the summer keep anymore, and he's just telling you all about the summer keep. And he raises his hand up again, and he orders another two, and that's how the night proceeds. It is drink after drink after drink after shot after drink, and the last thing you remember is the very bottom of a tankard of a very expensive mead, and you don't quite remember who ordered it. You don't quite remember who paid for it, but you dart awake the following morning with the utter urge to just spill the entire contents of your stomach out onto the floor, and there's nothing but bile as you throw up. And this has what it's been like since Redmond somehow, and to this day, nobody quite knows how, but Redmond found his way back up the hill into the guild and down to the room. Many of the other recruits evacuated the room with the sounds of sick and the sweet, sweet sounds of Redmond's snoring. But the sound of a mouthful of bile slapping against the hardwood floor of your dormitory room kind of awakens you as you hear Regiment retching.
Regiment, please. It was a late night. I was in the woods till the sun started to show.
It's just the cat whisker fever. It gets me in the mornings usually more than any other time.
I've noticed you've got that a lot recently. It's not
I think it's
contagious.
the change of setting. I think it flares up my allergies. This keep, and it really sparks off the cat whisker fever.
Can I get you something for it?
What? No. I think I just need to write it out.
Okay. I'm going to do my stretches now. I'm here if you need something.
Okay.
Try not to aim in my direction.
Okay. No problem.
There's a knocking on the door a couple of minutes later, and Adam, you are well into your morning routine of your sort of flexing and stretching, just kind of like to loosen out the stiffness from the night's sleep. And from the other side of the door, you both hear Byron call out. Good morning to you both. Regiment, are you quite all right?
Yeah, just the cat whisker fever.
Oh.
It gets me more in the morning than it does. Usually, I think it's the allergies in the keep just flare it up.
Yes, your father also spoke of the cat whisker fever.
Yeah, it's hereditary.
Yes.
It's hereditary. Yeah.
Wouldn't that mean it was your mother? Look, besides the point, and he opens the door and he kind of pops his head in, and you see this sort of elderly halfling gentleman, very thin hair, and sort of deep sallow skin, wearing kind of effectively like a smock and pants, get up, and kind of heavy brown boots, and he's just kind of half leaning in through the door, kind of looking out. Regiment, I happened to be in the village this morning, and you did deliver the relic.
And he just pats his chest. And he goes, yes.
Great. I don't know. Emmy isn't always the best. She gets a bit of that cat whisker fever as well herself. So she was a bit out of sorts when I was asking her.
What did she say? What was it that she? What did she say?
Oh, well, she said that. Well, aside from the fact that she tried to get me to pay your tab, she said you tried to put your drinks on the Summer Keeps account. I squared that off with her, obviously.
Yeah.
And I told her that you'd be down a little bit later on today to pay that yourself. That,
of course, yeah.
you're
problem.
not.
Yep.
Mind you, you've quite the taste there in your mead. Expensive mead, mind you. I've always maybe wanted to taste the hummingbird nectar, but a cask of it, she said. A whole cask of it you downed.
Holy Moses. What's the what was the tab? What was the total on the tab in the end?
I couldn't. I think she said something around 80 gold pieces.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. That's fine. That's absolutely.
But she no, that's not really. No, she just said that she didn't receive the box. Now, maybe you gave it to Bonnie. I didn't see Bonnie this morning. Maybe she's been struck with the cat whisker fever. Maybe you gave it to Bonnie.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
I could never, tell them apart. So I guess I must have given it to Bonnie and not.
Well, yeah. A good trick there is Bonnie has the lily, stitched into her.
Yeah, but then I always think Emmy is the lily. It's just it's
Right.
and sometimes I think they just change it around for the laugh.
Great. Well, you take care of that tab business, and sure, when you get back up, we'll have a chat about that letter to your father that I'm sending.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Great. Oh, you might want to open a window in here as well, Adam. The smell out of the room. And he kind of just stares you up and down as you like mid yoga pose, and he kind of just shuts the door behind him.
Adam's like full downward facing dog has been watching this whole thing from between his own legs.
Adam
gets up and opens the window.
Adam, I need you.
Yes, Reggie.
I think.
What?
I think no. Well, yes, but later. I think the hummingbird mead, was poisoned and or potioned. I can never tell the difference. And I've lost all memory, and I don't know what happens. The important box, and I need you, most importantly, to give me 80 gold pieces.
Okay, well, first of all, that is terrible, but it's good news that someone with such a strong constitution as yourself discovered the poison.
Yes,
we are very lucky.
Yeah, I got an 18.
I do not have 80 gold. I have, in fact, no gold.
Right, come on.
If there is,
we're gonna need to find some horses. Right, let's go. Let's go to the stable.
Why are we finding horses?
Because we have to go to my dad.
Okay. Can you walk?
Not well right now. Not well. No.
And I think for the first of many, many times, Annam lifts the covers and makes a regiment bindle.
How does Regiment react to being baby bindled?
We don't have time for this. This is very cozy.
Annam will forever remember that Regiment first said, "I love being lifted."
Oh, okay. Baby bindled, Regiment bindled. I won't even say baby bindled. Regiment bindled out and down the hall. It's very quiet, Annam, for this hour of the morning, and you don't see many of the other new recruits about the place. That tiefling, is again kind of filing and organizing, and she kind of half under her breath hisses as Regiment passes by. But as you make your way out to the stables, Mr. Sapras is standing there kind of half shaking his head, and you see what looks like a stampede of hoof prints in the in the muck, and Mr. Sapras is just staring into the stables. There isn't a horse to be found.
Regiment. There are no horses.
Sapras, where are the horses?
Abigail, always prepared. And he kind of gestures up the hill. And there's a bunch of recruits chasing horses through the fields, trying to stop them.
Okay. Can you get me two? Just two. I just need two. One. We can share. Just need one horse.
Oh, and he kind of takes the cap off his head and he's kind of scratching it a little bit. And he kind of gestures into the field.
Adam, get a horse.
Okay. Don't cry.
Adam, as you again, you are still bindled to him as well. So that's the as you're about to head out the like one leg over, we'll say a stone wall, Adam. You both just kind of hear Mrs. Sappers, Eileen Sappers, shouting from the back kitchen door at the pair of you. Oh, that's fine. That's grand now. Off the pair of you go, huh? You do well now, Annam. I wouldn't be trundling that thing around with you. Absolute agent of himself that he made last night in the village. So I heard.
What did you hear?
Oh, what didn't I hear, Master Redmond? Huh? Of quest delivery.
And what?
Well, you went and carved your name in the wall of the old mare.
Yeah, we're belongs, yeah.
Well, that's not what the Raider sisters think. Oh, they're very upset with you this morning, young lad.
Yeah, I'll go down to them in a while. They'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And I heard about the package as well.
What did you hear about the package? Now? Go on, tell me.
Well, I heard that you were bringing a package. You were all about it yourself, and that Ada's young fella, all about it. Oh, you were showing it off and everything. You were swinging it all around the place, showing everybody what you were up to. I'm sure half the village got to look at it. Oh, I don't think now that Byron want to hear that. You off on your mission, top secret. You were saying.
He wouldn't mind, sure. But it's best not to bring it up with him anyway, because he wouldn't care, sure.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. He'd be very sensitive about that. And where is it?
Sure, I gave it to Bonnie.
Oh, that's very interesting now.
Yeah. What's it to you anyway?
Oh, nothing. Just minding my own business, really. I am just, Oh, I'd hate to think that anything happened to it, because what I heard anyway, Bonnie and Emmy said that you didn't even give it to them in the end, that you stormed out, boasting that you'd protect with every ounce of your flesh and soul and heart and body and mind. That was, of course, before you went and you relieved yourself on the bushes of the hole in the wall. Mrs. Wall now isn't exactly impressed with you either now.
I'll do those bushes some good. Just take to them.
Well, she said you've gone and killed our hydrangeas, so...
Those hydrangeas need killing. Nobody likes them.
How were you now, Reg? But I'd probably do my best to retrace my steps now and see if I could, figure out exactly what happened to the parcel that you were delivering.
Okay.
And less traipsing up the woods through the fields there now with your one Abigail. The place is falling down around us. Your man doesn't seem to care, huh? And she kind of turns and heads back into the kitchen.
Okay. Regiment's going to kind of give Adam a little kick in the side, like a giddy up, and point to the old mare and just like past his head and say, right, that way, to the old mare. Let's go.
No horse?
No. The recruits need them for training, and we're already well skilled. We don't need that kind of training. We're fine.
Well, you are more experienced than I suppose you know that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You have a lot to learn from me, and and me from you as well. I think we'll make a fine pair together.
You gallop, trot towards the village of Canuck, Regiment bindled to your back, and I mean, the sight is something to behold anyway, but something tells you deep in your bones, Adam, that that's not the only reason people are kind of gawping and staring, and a lot of people seem to be kind of mending things in the square. window boxes sort of upturned. There's Regiment was here and will be here forever, scrawled in mud on the town hall steps. And the town maester is just sort of eyeballing you and eyeballing the dirt as he gets out a bucket and scrubs at it with a wiry brush. And as you are kind of making your way into the village center, you do see Callar, greener than the hills, sort of wobbling towards the pair of you. All right, Redmond.
Hey, what up? Can you let me down for a second, Adam?
Oh, of course.
And go deep.
Oh, this is Annam.
Yeah, great lad.
Oh, you're really lucky, Annam. My oh, excuse me. Oh.
Adam takes a step back.
Regiment is my best friend, and for you to be able to be his assistant, that's an honor and a half.
I look at all the damage around me and I'm like, yes, I am learning a lot from watching Reggie.
So you meant it then, Redmond. You're gonna do it.
Come here, and he's got to kind of put his arm around him and lead him away from Adam, so Adam doesn't hear anymore.
Oh, Regiment, I'm fucked.
Yeah, no, I'm bollocks. I'm absolutely I'm putting on a brave
face.
I've
had so much sick in my shoes.
I didn't know my knees could sweat. I am just one shaking mess. But I don't get hungover. It's just this cat whisker fever.
Oh, I think I call.
Come here. What? My mind's a little fuzzy about what happened last night. Can you? What? Where is the artifact?
The what?
The important box.
Let me see. I remember. I remember. Fuck all, Regiment.
Oh, that's useless to me. Thank you.
No. Wait. I remember when you ordered the Hobbit Bird bead. And you see him take a hard swallow. I would say to you that my nan used to say that, the winter drop flowers were the best hangover cure. We said, that today we go and get them.
Yeah.
And then I remember telling you that was practically a suicide mission because of all the ghosts. And then you made me dare you to do it. And I did. I triple dog dared you to do it.
Oh, not triple dog. I can't refuse a triple dog. All right.
So I reckon. I'm sorry. Regiment, don't look. Don't look. Please don't look. And
he looks directly at him.
He just gets sick all over his boots.
Must be awful to get hangovers.
No, I don't. I think this is some of that cat's teeth thing that you get. Maybe I can.
Cat whisker fever. I also think that the hummingbird meat might have been poisoned or potioned. I can never tell the difference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't know because you drank the whole cask.
Oh, jeepers creepers! How much gold do you have on you right now, Connor?
Well, my nan gives me, and he kind of checks his pockets and he takes out 6 silver pieces.
That's not enough. How much is in the register of the herbalist shop.
Oh, probably. And he kind of gestures to you with the 6 silver pieces.
All right, doesn't matter. Do you want to join us, Keller? To
No, I have to go, but I can't leave. Nah, too long.
okay.
But
All right.
but if you can get some of that flour from the Night Grove,
Yeah.
well, not only would you be an absolute legend,
Already on, but yeah, go on.
well, more so, mate, more so. And maybe you're any kind of point he's and at their point he's like you see the half elf pointing over at you. Maybe your intern could learn. You could show him some things. If you can get that flour, then well, that should clear up this. It's good. It's good for hangovers, but it's also good for any kind of ailment. Really, it's kind of a cure all. My nan says.
And how much would you give me for it? Would you give me 80 gold pieces for it?
Well, no, I'd make you some. I like. I'd make you some cure all. I guess you could maybe sell some, but
Okay.
by the looks of it, I think you need most of it, and it should maybe help you remember. If you take a couple of sips of it, it might clear up the memory a small bit. You might remember where you'd kind of go. Because honestly, Regiment, I don't remember a whole lot.
Okay.
And he goes, "Did you do this?" And he lifts up his he lifts up his shirt, and there is a very red scratch of like jagged letters, like inked into his skin, and it literally reads, "Regiment and Caller, best mates forever."
No, buddy, I think you did that to yourself.
Oh, really? Because it was like he goes, that looks like your penmanship.
No. Mine's gentle and dainty, like a beautiful scribe's.
All right. So, all right, will you get it?
Yeah. Come on, Adam, push me up.
Adam is bewildered but does what he's asked.
To the Night Grove.
This is not the adventure I had in mind when you asked me to team up.
Ah, look, we're learning. We're getting to know each other. We're becoming a great team. This is wonderful. You know. What did you want from an adventure? What's your vision? Let's manifest your vision.
Oh, same amount of body fluids, different bodily fluids. A lot of blood, less vomit.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. We can kill something on the way, maybe. All right, to the Night Grove.
Okay.
I don't know where that is.
Do I know where that is?
You do, yeah. It's
okay.
it's a section deep within the Doctor's Woods, and this and would be the first time you enter them, but not the last. And they lie deep beyond the hills of Canuck, and you know that the Night Grove is it's a particularly marshy section of these woods. Not a lot of animal life or fauna in that area. It is given to being avoided by trackers and hunters. Though again, you do know that Caller has ventured in, or at least skirted around its borders. Regiment, that talk in Canuck is that the Night Grove is a haunted place, that there are ghosts and specters and shades lingering deep within the dank fog and gas of the Night Grove marshes. How much that's true, you don't quite know. But to expedite this scenario, as you sort of traverse the woods and you find Annam, the ground getting that much wetter, your footsteps sort of sinking deeper into the marshland, the smell kind of wafting heavier. I'm going to need the pair of you to give me, like, how do ye make it across the Nightgrove marshes?
Well, I'm bundled onto Annam,
Okay.
so how does Annam make it across?
Probably by putting Regiment down.
No.
Looking through my inventory, looking at my backpack. I don't know. I think we're just brute forcing this.
Okay.
one.
And are you putting Regiment down?
I'm going to have
Yeah.
to. I'll just sink more.
You
if I
are
have him on my
like
back.
you are kind of just below your thigh at this stage, Annam, as you kind of find yourself sinking into it, and sort of shifting Regiment round and kind of unbundling him. You are able to kind of like get a bit more leverage, and you that next step you don't sink as deep. Regiment, you are up to your chest, like you are literally wading through this.
Okay.
And it is cold, it is wet, and it is putrid.
Okay. This is actually a very good learning moment, Adam. So what I've learned is if you're going through terrain like this, you need to starfish on your belly to give yourself as much coverage as possible, right? Because when you got your 2 feet, you sink down. But when you have as much mass across it, you won't sink as much. So lie on your belly, right? We're both going to shimmy across.
I would like to take out one of my hand axes on a length of chain and just huck it as far as I can into a tree in an attempt to like pull myself.
Okay. So can I just and maybe somebody in chat can adjudicate this. Is that actually true, Emma? Like I just want to know, or is this just some bullshit that Regiment made up? Because that genuinely sounds like that's one way you're gonna die in a bog.
Hang on, let me ask Dr.
I'm not gonna lie, just lie face
Lie
down
face
in
down.
the bog. It's not-
No, not face down, just like an army crawl. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, because when you said on your stomach, I'm like picturing.
Yes, I
Oh,
was.
yeah,
I
no,
was
no.
as well. I was like, "How are you breathing?" Because like,
No, like army crawl, so your head's up.
okay.
That makes
God, I hope there's like an army veteran in chat. That's gonna go. That's
Yeah, that's definitely our audience.
it is. Vets.
while I feel tall enough to reach the bottom, I'm not doing that.
Give me a ranged weapon attack, Annam, with yours, while Reggie is trying to like maneuver himself, starfish style, through the marsh.
16.
Okay, yeah, 16 is enough. It is a thing of you have to find it first, and you can kind of feel the jangling of the chain as you let it kind of like loose, swinging. The rattling chains kind of draws your attention, Regiment, and there's just a thunk as you sink your hand axe into the trunk of a tree. And at that moment, everything gets kind of quiet. There's a stillness, and then you can just hear kind of a just sort of glance past you, Regiment, as if something had just breathed and whisped behind you.
Take me with you.
I've got one hand on the chain, and the other I grab Regiment's hand and I start pulling us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regiment, you like someone has grabbed you by the scruff of the neck, and you are yanked kind of up onto your back, kind of half splayed out, as Annam kind of powers through the entire time, pulling and pulling on the chain and kind of half wrapping it around your forearm as you kind of get closer, and as you are kind of dragging yourself up onto it. Through the mist here on the marshland, a spectre looms out, and it goes to reach for you, Regiment. Give me an initiative rolls, please.
Oh. 8.
16.
Okay. And I also need to. I forget. because I've been playing with other systems. Like, oh wait, I am the DM. I have to roll dice as well. And that is a 2 + 1. So, Anam, you are up as you turn in time to see this spirit just sort of coalesce out of the mist and the fog, and just a withered hand reaching for Regiment, who is recoiling and like kind of flinching bravely.
How deep are we at this point?
You are kind of up. You're kind of up onto your feet almost. You found a bit more solid ground. Reggie, you are kind of at kind of hip level at this point, as you kind of stand free. The spectre kind of hovering just in front of Regiment.
Anum puts Regiment's hand on the chain of the axe that's buried in the tree, and then pushing past Regiment, takes his other axe out. And as he's doing it, probably for the first time now, Regiment sees Anum go into a rage. And you get the full on right beside you close up effect of seeing Anum's eyes bulge, his face begin to distort and call like I came across the idea of the Cullen's warp rage recently, where he's just described as turning into this monstrous beast. And I've really fallen in love with like the descriptions of it, and just I will pin that down better for later in order to describe Anum's transformation. But you can tell from this distance, this is painful, this is horrific, and every inch of Anum's body is increasing, like height, width, breadth, depth. He's just doubled in size as he reaches past you with the sand axe and attempts to bury it in the spectre.
Yeah, make an attack roll.
17.
17 hits.
I dropped my other dice. I snickered it away. 4, 3 plus 8 damage.
Okay. And any bonus action? Oh, that bonus action was your rage.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah. As you rage out and Regiment, you see this sight. You don't know what's more terrifying, the spirit, and again, it is the spirit's form is vaguely humanoid. It's sort of wisps of fog and ethereal energy, all kind of wrapped in shrouds. And there is a humanoid face, but the kind of it's half rotted and it's translucent, and you just see an arm, this gargantuan arm, just reach past you, a hand axe dwarfed in its size, as Anum buries it, and he slices through the fog and the mist, and as you kind of duck and kind of turn, and you see the spirit sort of almost cleaved in two and reform, it is your action.
Seeing Anum change, he's a little bit stunned, hence why he's gone second. Yes. So he's going to be like, jeepers creepers. He's going to use his bonus action first, which will be Giant's Might, which will make him large because he is jealous of Anum. So you become large along with anything you are for 1 minute. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get because Anum uses hand axe, he's going to use his great axe to try to attack it. So let me roll that. That's an 8.
Okay. As you an 8 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you grow in size and you swing, you're not quite again. As it was kind of torn in 2 pieces by Anum, you swing where it was fully formed, and you miss. Like it's just that thing of like it's almost as if your axe just cut through mist.
Okay.
The blade feels cool, but the spirit kind of reforms in front of you, and its hand just again that little bit closer outstretched. You've used your bonus action. You don't have 2 weapon fight or around it that you can.
No, we might not. No, with my great axe.
Okay. So it is going to reach for you, and that is a 15 to hit.
No, my armor class 16.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you kind of throw yourself back just as its hand kind of reforms in front of you. Just a breath from your face, you feel the cold, withering touch just sort of almost glance against you as you pull back. The feeling of kind of frost on your skin where it almost touched you. Um, as you kind of fall back up onto the bank and you half scramble to your feet. Um, and as the pair of you kind of stare out at this from the fog and the mist, you see more of these spirits forming and taking shape, all kind of half turning, as if for the entire time you have trundled through the night grove, you have been walking through these spirits, and here and now they set upon you. And two things occur. Adam, you take count, and there is 18 of them in total that you can see. And Reggie, as you scrambled back up onto the bank and you're kind of now standing, just behind you where you see Anim's other axe and chain buried into, it's half wrapped and buried into the trunk of a dead tree.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting there at the bottom of this, you see a cluster of the flowers. Just sort of, and they look like snowdrops. But they seem to almost kind of radiate like there's kind of a glow off of not the flower but the actual petals, which are a kind of withered grey.
I don't have movement, right? Because it's not my turn.
Yes, 'cause the creature went before you, yeah. So
Yeah.
or after you, yeah. So it is Anam at the top of the turn.
Oh, but Reginald will
Okay.
shout and say, "Adam, get them!" And then we can get out of here.
What's the distance to the flowers?
Literally less than 5 feet. You could reach back and grab.
Fantastic. I'm going to do that then, I guess. But first, I would like to take a swing at the spectre, if that's possible.
Yep. Make an attack roll.
Oh, stop doing that. That's a 23
That definitely hits me.
for 7 damage.
It this time, as with his hand outstretched, you bring the axe down on top of its arm, and you cleave right into it. It just it falls to the ground like rain. Like it just completely just loses its shape, and like that, like a blanket of mist just descending rapidly. It vanishes before it even hits the ground. And there is a screeching whisper out of the other 17 spirits as they move like a rolling fog towards the pair of you.
Yeah, that's enough for me. I look at Reg and I'm like, this is enough adventure. And I grab the flowers, and as I turn to run past Reggie again, I'm already normal size. With like just the most horrific bone popping noises.
Oh.
And just taking off, sprinting.
Reggie.
Yeah. Reggie's not even going to attack. He's just going to grab some flowers, and because he's still large, he's going to try run faster than Adam.
Okay. Again, the two of you kind of bucking it, I assume, in the opposite direction of the swarm of spirits. Yeah, and you grab the flowers, and oh god, they are. It's like it's very strange. It's like a weird sort. It's like pins and needles immediately in your hand. Like they haven't gone quite numb, but there is just a surge of energy as you touch them, and there is a stinging sensation. But it's a cold sting as you kind of bundle them into a bag. Your hand a little swollen and kind of pulsing. Regiment, you reach down and you grab them. The same thing, the same sensation, that same sort of prickly pins and needles sensation in your fingers, but there's an immediate sort of like, oh wait, what? As like you have a moment of clarity, as whatever oil or whatever it is on the plant, whatever spores just enter your bloodstream, there is a clarity. And yeah, you remember the triple dog dare. You remember Caller telling you that like there's no way, like you're not ready, like you can't get into the night grove. Like you're great and all, you have a job, but like the night grove is a little out of your depth. There's no way you'd get these flowers, like and the and the bravado and that sort of upping each time. It's not only would I get you one flower, but I'd get you like a whole cluster of these flowers. And Caller triple dog daring you, and you remember being screamed at by the Raider sisters to get out of the pub, that they were well past closed, and that you could settle the tab tomorrow, and that you could repair the wall tomorrow as well. All of it kind of floods back, and you remember what you can see her. She's a wood elf, married to the half orc, and the name is on the tip of your tongue, and you remember parting ways with Caller and following her up the hill, out the village, and as you kind of pull the flowers up and you book it past Annam, the name kind of just hits you. After the pub, you went with Agnes Murphy back to her place. You and a few of the other villagers for a nightcap. And that's where you went right after the pub. And you remember checking. You had the jewelry box then. How are the two of you getting out of the Night Grove?
On our bellies.
So
immediately, like, I'm lost because I took off running first, but we're probably going the opposite direction we came in, and I know the area.
Okay, so both of you are going to have to make some form of check for me. Now, you can rely on a skill, you can rely on ability or a feat, a spell, whatever it might be, but neither of you can use the same one. And you're both looking to effectively make it out with we'll say DC 12 for this sort of expeditious retreat out of the Night Grove, chased by a very, very pissed off swarm of spirits.
Would I know my way around the grove? Like, would I know how to get out after running this?
Well, you know, like again, it's that thing of you wouldn't have maybe gone in this deep into the grove before. You've certainly walked up to it, but you wouldn't have gone this deep. Eventually, you guess the direction that the pair of you are running. The grove has to end sometime.
Okay. So, let's say we're going into the grove. We stopped here. They're a little bit further. We're running that way.
Yes.
I'm going to say, if we make a sharp right, because let's say it's long and narrow.
Okay.
Right, Dia?
Yep, it's long and narrow.
So he's going to grab Adam and say, we just need to take the sharp right. We'll get to. We'll just go as fast as we can, and we'll climb over any obstacles without even thinking, and it'll be fine.
No thinking, go.
Yes. All right. And I want to do an athletics check on that if I can.
Okay. So Regiment's doing an athletics check, and since neither of you are thinking, any intelligence or wisdom-based rolls will be at a disadvantage.
I'll go acrobatics.
Okay.
For getting over things.
All right.
Okay, you can both make your rolls, and again, you're both looking to beat a 12.
Ah, nice. 20, but unnatural.
Okay.
70.
Okay. You manage Regiment. It's that thing of like, oh, tree, ow, bang, and in and over. Whereas, I mean, you scramble over it like with all the, again, grace, not a word I'm going to associate with Regiment. But you do every kind of encounter, like obstacle you encounter, you are able to maneuver around it in some shape or form, usually just by kind of running straight through it, and kind of bulldozing your way. Whereas, and while you're not being as careful as you'd like to be, you are sort of like half leaping and bounding off of the same obstacles that Regiment is running into. And occasionally you do kind of like, whoa, like as you find yourself on a stump, and Regiment has just kind of like half parkoured off of it / into it, almost kind of lose your balance. But the entire time as you speed and race through the Night Grove, the spirits continue. And in fact, the swarm grows as more of them begin to emerge out of the mist and the fog, enraged at your assault on one of their own. But you clear the Night Grove, having taken a sharp right, and by your calculations, you should only be, a short stroll from Canuck, but you seem to have kind of gotten turned around, and you are kind of, for some stroke of luck, you are exactly in, like, as you emerge out of the village, you are love hearts. You arrive exactly where you left a couple of hours before. Again, purely by luck, Regiment, but you had thought maybe we'd round out onto one of the like the long road, but you have somehow managed to make your way back almost the exact path that you took into the Doctor's Woods and the trail towards the Night Grove.
Regiment's going to let out a laugh and be like, ha, see, I told you we'd learn something, wasn't? And you got to use some of your weapons. Is that not an adventure, Adam?
Adam is really focused on the fact that he saw Regiment also double in size and just overcome with emotion, just picks him up and gives him another big bear hug. It's like, you and I get you.
I
Mr.
get
Monk.
you too. Yeah. All right. And because we're a team, because we're the same, you and me, we're the same. We have two choices, so let's make a decision together, right? We can go to Atmos. 8 was it? Sorry, Declan. ATMIS. Is it Atmos? Is that the girl's name?
Oh, Agnes. Sorry, Agnes Murphy.
All right. We can go to Agnes's house, retrieve the artifact, or we can go to Caller's and tell him how great that whole thing was. What do you think?
Reggie, we have to go get the artifact.
Oh, yeah, I know you're right. Oh, but it kills me twice. All right. Let's go to Agnes's. It's this way.
Yeah, it's that blind drunk memory as you wander. Again, people are looking, and the Raider sisters, you're not sure whether it's Bonnie or Emmy. One of them is staring out the top floor window of the old Mare Tavern, and she kind of just taps on the glass. And she, as you wave up at her, Reggie, she kind of rolls her eyes, and she kind of mouths something. She's clearly mouthing "Pay your tab," but you translate that into "God, I'm great" or whatever it is.
He's gonna blow her a kiss and be like, "I'll talk to you later."
You head out the long road, past the turn for the summer keep on the hill. And it's later into the afternoon as you make your way up the long road. And again, here the Doctor's Woods kind of do stretch out a little bit, but it is largely craggy farmland. And you spy several kind of houses in the distances, but you can't quite remember which one is the Murphys, which one is the Murphy farm. And yeah, that's kind of where the drunk memory phase.
Is there anyone around? Like, do we see anyone?
There's a couple of people in the fields, busy at work.
Right. I'll shout at one of them. Oi!
Yeah, a tiefling gentleman sort of like turns and kind of looks at you, kind of half wiping the sweat off his brow, and he takes a couple of steps towards. What are you looking for?
Murphy's.
What you want with the Murphys?
Just a chat. I just left something there last night.
Piss off.
I
You're-
will.
You're
Tell me where
you're
it is.
you're hardly going back to the scene of the crime.
What crime?
She's going to have your legs, lad.
Well, I'd give them to her. But, boy,
Well, you took out half her fence and you promised her you'd mend it before you left.
I'll do that now. I'll do that now. Look, I've got the best mender in town, don't I? On him, best fence mender you've ever seen. Now, which house is it?
Me?
Yeah.
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 Yes. I like take out my Smith's tools and I have like a little hammer and a button or something. Like,
Look, setting up already. Professional.
He and there is a bit of a distance. You don't really get a good sense of who he is, right, like that. But and he gestures over, kind of behind you, Regiment and Anna, and you do see kind of off the main road here, off the old long road. There is kind of a wet, mucky path that leads towards a farmhouse and the kind of the farmland kind of beyond it. And yeah, there's a very, very broken fence the whole way from the road here up to the farmhouse itself.
Right, okay. Good lad. And Adam, come on. We're going to head up the road. Well, I assume, Adam, you're happy to follow.
Yeah. You're just going to follow suit?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm answering for him again.
yes.
A couple of the farmhands are kind of some are mending, some are half mending it, like trying to put it up, but it's in bits. Reggie, it's like, yeah, whatever. And again, you cannot remember anything about last night, and a few of them kind of stop, and you can kind of hear them talking, and it's like, oh, dead man walking. Dead lads walking, and they kind of gesture at Annam as well. Maybe he's back up. Agnes is going to absolutely rip him a new one. And you approach, and again the door to the house opens, and a very sort of lean woman, human, sort of like tanned, sallow skin sort of steps out, her hair pulled back into a very, very tight bun with the odd kind of wisp, kind of like loose, and covered in like heavy overalls, and she seems to be she's a pair of boots in her hands. Oh, you decided to show up then, did you, Redmond the Great?
Well, it's nice of you to say everything's.
Oh yeah, I've said a couple of things about you, you great bollocks. What about my fence?
I've brought the towns, the islands, Down's greatest fence mender, right? So I'll get to that in a minute. But first things first, Agnes, right? You listen. You look at me in the eye. Where's my artifact? I know I had it coming here.
What the fuck are you talking about? No,
I had it.
A deal's a deal, Redmond. Fix my fucking fence.
Where's my artifact? I'm not doing anything till you give it to me.
And I'm not telling you shite until you and your great fence mender fix my fence. You broke it.
Well, I don't remember that, do I?
You don't remember. You don't remember telling me that you were on top of one of Byron's, sorry, the top right-hand man in the Summer Keep. also happened to be a renowned architect and carpenter.
In training. But where?
Okay, I'm going to give you inspiration. only for that shite. I'm giving you inspiration.
But listen, it's a fence is a fence. Like, what's the big
And the
deal?
deal is the deal. Fix the fence or
I will
nothing.
fix the fence.
Great.
All right.
Right. I have to go out and check on the
No,
cows.
no, no,
When I
no,
come back, fence fixed, and I'll tell you what you did with your shagging fucking artifact. Piss pot. And she puts on her boots. Huh? And she just kind of like half and saunters off.
How much fence is broken? Like, it seems like it's a lot of fence.
This is a lot of fence. It was one of those things where, oh no, but if I just do this, oh wait, no, it's actually, no, sorry, that's the wrong part. It's this. And it was kind of a domino effect as you just took out post after post.
I would like to do the Predator arm grab with Reggie.
What's the Predator or arm grab? I haven't seen Predator.
Like the Arnold Schwarzenegger and the other buff did. They do the big, and it zooms in, and their arms are like.
Okay. All right.
Even if you're not willing, I move your arm up to do it.
No, trust me, it'll be cool. Do this thing with me. It'll be cool.
All right. Okay.
I'll go try.
I
I'll
guess.
do this, but you will owe me.
Yeah. Of course.
And then I'll call after her.
She turns. She's kind of made her way towards a barn.
Please inform the regiment of where he has left his item. I will not leave until your fence is fixed. I will begin right away. And I literally just walk over and start fixing the closest fence post to the best of my very limited ability.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage. Only because you've started mending. Now, you started mending doesn't mean you've actually made anything of it, but you've started mending.
13. No, actually, sorry, 12.
Okay.
12.
She fixes a look on you. For fuck's sake. Fine. The well, Regiment. You spent an awful time at the well hacking your guts up. You probably dropped it in there, right? Satisfied? Fix my fence.
Which one?
Ooh! And she just points out into a field.
All right. Let's go on it.
No, I said I will fix the fence. I will fix the fence. You go.
Okay.
I'm not giving you 80 gold, but this I will do.
A job shared is a time halved. And he's going to help him with the fence.
Okay.
Or going to the well.
What tool proficiencies do you both have?
I have a deck of cards.
Okay.
Smith's
You're proficient with Smith's tools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm proficient with Smith's tools, but I don't think I have them. And also Mason's tools.
Okay. So we will say that you're able to find some tools on the farm.
Okay.
Both of you can roll your roll a d20 and add your proficiency bonus to it. But since you've had to borrow, and these are not necessarily carpenter's tools or carpenter's proficiencies, you're not gaining any bonuses to this roll other than your own proficiency.
Where do I find my proficiency?
I think at the level it should just be +2.
Okay, great. I roll 1d20. Ooh, 18.
Okay.
+2 is 20.
That's good because I rolled a 7.
Great.
Yeah, no, it's a long day of fence mending, and as much as he's helping, Anam is just kind of getting in the way. Reggie, sober, you can kind of do this. Sober, you kind of have an idea of what you should have been doing last night. Sober Reggie is wondering what the hell drunk Reggie was doing, but thankfully you haven't actually done damage to the post. It just seems to be that you took out any kind of fastenings. So most of the time is actually spent just sort of fixing everything back together. And what Anna may lack in DIY skills, he makes up for in strength and in muscle. So you have an extra pair of hands, and a job that could have taken you the better part of the whole day just takes the better part of 5 hours. With the odd farmhand kind of chipping in. Agnes, seeing her fence mended, heads inside, and you can both smell food cooking as she rings a dinner bell, and like staring at the pair of you. Oh no, that's not for ye. Deal was a deal, Redmond. Go check the well. I'll check the fence after. And she heads back inside.
All right. Regiment starts walking towards the well and then looking at Adam as if to say, like, come on now. I want to hear more about how every one of your bones break when you get bigger.
This will make a good metaphor someday. I'm gonna just wander towards the well, talking about the ins and outs of getting bigger.
Literally the ins and outs.
Yeah, it sounds so gross.
Yeah, as the pair of you head out into the backfield, where Agnes had pointed, the well is a natural well. It's not a construct. This is just and it's just marked by a large flagstone, and in it you see a rusted hook loop that has a single heavy thick rope hanging from it, and off to the side there is a bucket, and there is just a deep dark hole below.
Can I fit in the bucket?
No.
Okay.
The hole is only about 3 feet wide.
How deep does it look?
You can't tell.
I have. Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say I have a torch.
Okay. Are you lighting it and dropping it in?
Just kind of like holding it, but just holding it down to see if it goes further than whatever that is, like 6 feet.
As you kind of lie flat on your why has this session been Regiment lying flat on his belly for most of his experiments? As you get on your belly and like reach down into the hole with the torch lit, it's quite a narrow space. The torch illuminating you, the light just gets swallowed by the darkness. Give me a perception check, Regiment.
I have -1 in that.
Great.
So 11 minus 1 is 10.
You can definitely hear the sounds of water, but you're not certain. You can definitely hear. You thought you heard somebody sniveling or something sniveling.
I think someone's down there. Can you hear anything?
It must be a very small person.
Yeah. I mean, plenty of creatures that would fit down there. Not me or you. But
Maybe they're in trouble. Should we?
Yeah. Hello?
We came along.
Redspin?
Yeah?
Oh, you came back.
Who's that?
Huh? It's me.
He's going to let the silence hang in hoping that he gets more information.
There's just the sound of the water in the well.
Hey.
Hello, I am Annan. Who are you?
Oh, Regiment said he'd tell everybody I was down here.
And that's why I've brought Adam.
Oh, can he help?
Yeah. Have you got my artifact?
Yeah, you gave it to me.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to lower this bucket. Can you get into it?
Is it dark?
It's kind of a lightish brown, I'd say.
The sky.
Oh, not the bucket. No, is it dark then?
It's dusk. Like again, like
Yeah.
it was the kind of late into the afternoon when you arrived at the Murphy Farms. And it taking about 5 or 6 hours to mend. It's dusk. Like it's
Yeah, there's still a little bit of light. If we hurry up, you'll catch the end of it.
okay. Not all the way.
Why not?
Uh, I prefer dark.
Okay. Okay. Get in the bucket.
Put the lotion on its skin. You kind of lower the bucket or just toss it in, and a moment or two later you kind of see like the rope go taut at it. Kind of there's a tug. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, and you have the artifact?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, great. He's gonna keep pulling the bucket all the way up.
It's heavy. Like it's not. You're not straining massively. So there's something weighty definitely in it. And as you are sort of pulling the rope up, Anam, what are you doing?
I think Adam's just mostly aghast at whatever is happening.
Fair.
Are you
Anything like this?
Yeah. Are you pulling the bucket the whole way up?
Yeah. I need the artifact.
Okay. As you kind of as the rope, like you can start to almost see the bucket. Staring up at the pair of you, you just see these two large, almost bug eyes staring up that kind of widen, and then no, stop, and like he's kind of bracing. This creature trying to brace against the wall to stop being pulled out.
Okay, he will stop.
It didn't work, Richmond.
Walk me through what you did.
But you came to the well last night and you got sick on me.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about that. Yeah.
No, I know you apologized and I accepted it. Divil is very forgiving. And you said that you were sorry, and then we got to talking, and then you got sick a little bit more.
I was poisoned. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, you said that, but Divil tasted the sick and it didn't taste poisoned.
You really shouldn't taste other people's sick.
You told me to.
Yeah, no, I did. Okay, go on. Anyway, sorry, I keep interrupting you. That's very, very rude of me.
So Divil was explaining that Divil's home has been invaded by a really bad thing and his really bad animals. And you said you had a really powerful artifact and talisman that would help Divil against the Darkling, and you threw it down the well, and Divil went to the cave to stop the Darkling and to say, no, get out of Divil's home, and it didn't work, and the Darkling just laughed at Divil, and then he set his dogs on me, and one of them bit me.
Oh my God, Devil, I am so terribly, terribly sorry that this has happened. Can I see the artifact? Let me just see if you had it attuned correctly.
Oh, you didn't mention anything about attuning.
I thought I had pre-attuned, but as you know, I was a little bit poisoned, so I probably just wasn't thinking quite as clearly as I wanted to be.
Okay, well, maybe Divil got the taste wrong, but there was definitely no poison in your sick.
Yeah.
And a small hand kind of extends as you see the very wet-looking package. And it's clinging to the jewelry box beneath it. But a small, spindly, almost twig-like hand reaches up out of the dark. A deep purple and grey coloured skin and 4 fingers with like sharp little claws extended up out out of the hole, holding up the package.
Okay, and Regiment's just gonna put it in his pouch. All right, Divil, listen. Here's the thing. I don't know if I can defeat this dark. What you call it? Dark animal. So, like I don't know if me and Alan can do it ourselves. Now that it's almost night time, do you think you want to come with us back to the keep? You can explain your situation, and we can muster up as many people as we can to help you. What do you think of that?
Um, uh, uh, and he's kind of breathing very heavily. No, Divil, Divil doesn't like not the dark. So, Divil,
Okay.
Divil will
Okay.
a new a new home. But you did promise Divil that you would get help if the relic didn't protect Divil and banish the Darkling.
Could I take out my Reggie bindle and like hook it under my cloaks and be like, "It's plenty dark. We will get you there. No light."
Reggie Bindle.
Um, uh, and he's kind of starting to kind of get anxious and panicky. No, Regiment, you lower Divil down, and Divil can wait. Divil will wait for you. Regiment help.
Okay.
And Regiment's friend.
Adam.
Not Regiment. Okay.
Okay. Adam, I'm not gonna, we're a team here. What do you think? Do you think we lower him back? We go back to the keep, and we try to get as much help as we can. Does that sound like a? Or do you have a better suggestion?
Honestly, I'm just confused. I don't know what the thing is. It came out the well. I fought a ghost today. Whatever you want to
Is this not the lifestyle that you wanted? Is this not the adventure you were seeking? Is this not the brotherhood and the camaraderie that you were striving for all your life? Is this not our time to step forward and be the leaders?
No. Sounds like we're wolf or something. But sure, this is what we're doing now. I get it.
Okay.
So, you're going to lower Divil down.
Yeah.
And come up with a plan to help him at some stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like top priority, but it's it's up there.
Okay. Genuinely, is this something Regiment would do, or is it? Oh, I got the artifact back. I'm grand, and I have no idea what that thing is.
It's both, right? Like now that he has the artifact, he's open to other things happening, and the fact that he could be a hero in this situation is very, very helpful.
Okay. So, with a promise to Divil as you lower him down, that you would return to aid him in ridding his chamber of the Darkling and his beasts. You and Anam, with the package entrusted to you once again, returned to you rather, once again after a day spent retracing Regiment's drunken antics through the village of Canuck. You get back a lot later than Byron had promised Alarion to the Old Mare Tavern, where you are quick to learn, Regiment, that you are barred from entering until your tab is cleared. So Anam has to be the one to head inside to confront a rather annoyed and disgruntled high elf woman, kind of in appearance, if you were to take her age and compare it to a human's, probably in her late 50s, early 60s, and she kind of just snatches the package from your hands, and just slaps you across the face with a full-on open palm slap, um, and a request that you take that and you deliver it to Byron for her. And she storms out of the old mare, past you, Redmond, and out the old long road, cursing Byron's name as she storms past you. With Byron's task undertaken, Reggie, having managed to, in some shape or form, see the mission out as assigned by Byron, the leader of the Summerkeep Guild, you are once again invited to Greenthorn's studies, where he tells you that he writes a letter of correspondence to your father with the words "performance adequate" underlined. And you, Annam, and a unlikely duo of a Furbolg woman that seems to be spending most of her time in the library away from the other recruits, and a rather standoffish tiefling, find yourselves mixed up in another misadventure, as Divil runs amok under the caves beneath the village of Canuck, all the while trying to evade the ever-growing threat of the Darkling and his prowling beasts. And the four of you manage to not only defeat the Darkling, but help Divil fortify his passageways. Should a Darkling or any other nefarious creature deign to encroach upon his territory, you have managed to, for the sake of future games, unlocked an ally in the form of Divil, a Boggle, a fey-like creature that lives beneath the surface of Canuck, in the many caves and caverns and passageways, occasionally kind of popping up outside the Summerkeep, usually with a gift, which is something he's stolen from somebody else in the village. But as the day passes and the plan to thwart the Darkling and his foul beasts is laid on the table by Regiment, Diara, fixing a very sort of uncertain and entirely unconfident glare, Mooney utterly captivated in a storybook, and sketches she's making of the possible creature that may or may not exist under Canuck, and a semi-eager Annam, looking to see out the promise and the deal struck with Divil, to return chaos to return his home back to a balance. Redmond leads the charge out of the Summerkeep and towards the old road, and the rest of you chasing fast on his heels. We bring our session to an end, and that is where we'll leave Deals, Dares, and Divil, a prologue episode of Beyond Horizon's Edge. Thank you so much for staying around. Thank you to Richard and Emma for playing the utterly amazing dynamic duo that is Annam and Redmond. and Emma for producing and troubleshooting all of our issues at the very, very start. So thank you all so much in chat for your patience and for staying with us. I hope you've had fun. A big, big thank you to my players for their time and their energy, and for once, actually no, because that's not what. That's not. I mean, it's close. It's close to what I'd kind of mapped out. I'll take it. It's close. It's close. It was closer than the lost and the found. So that's 1 to Reggie, 0 to the others.
Yeah.
Before we go, I'm going to quickly mention some friends of ours and sponsors of D8 Dungeon, Mystery Dice Goblin, purveyors of all things TTRPG related, including mystery dice bags. So if you are in need of some new dice or TTRPG accessories, enamel pins, or all sorts of TTRPG related goodies, then we would love if you checked out our friends mysterydicegoblin.com. If you use the code D8 at the checkout, you get 15% off your order, and a portion of that sale comes back to us. So that helps us pay for art, create new content, and just keep telling stories. I am going to lastly mention our own streams and what we're working on at the moment. We are D8 Dungeon, a group of Irish tabletop role-playing game enthusiasts who just love telling stories. So Beyond Horizon's Edge, Romancing the Dungeon, Random DMs, and Saving Grace are all available to you here, live on Twitch, or on our podcast platforms, or even on our YouTube channel. You can check us out at D8 Dungeon on all major social media and file hosting streaming platforms. You can pop over to our Discord server and hang out, ask questions. And I'm going to quickly mention our TTRPG talk show this coming Thursday at 7:30, right here on Twitch, with myself and Ben from Homebrew Quest /D8 Dungeon. And this week we are talking about new characters and coming up with new characters for your game, whether that's an NPC or a PC. How do we design characters? We also chat to the amazing Omar from A Tale of D20s about his process as a dungeon master, creating characters and working with his players around his table to integrate them into his world and his stories. So you can check that out this Thursday, 7:30, live on Twitch. Until then, thank you so much for your time, your patience, and your energy this evening. And we will see you back here on the 18th of March for the next episode. And hopefully we return to our cliffhanger where we left the party descending into a deep dark hole full of death and despair. What a wonderful way to end the stream.
Great.
Yeah, I think that's everything. If you want to take us out, Emma.
All right, cheers. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.